I think it's entirely conceivable that by the time we get to the summer, we could approach a considerable degree of normality.
He's one of the leading voices in the fight against the coronavirus. Our Verify team is talking one-on-one with Dr. Anthony Fauci about vaccines and what day-to-day life could look like after we get one.
Once again, we saw a similar weather pattern today with patchy fog. Some folks saw some sunshine. That pattern's going to be coming to an end this week as I'm tracking more active weather for this upcoming week.
Gonzaga men's basketball announces that it'll be pausing all team activities through December 14th out of caution due to coronavirus. We'll tell you what we know coming up.
Good evening. Thanks so much for staying up late with us tonight. I'm Tim Pham. Big news for the Zags tonight. Gonzaga men's basketball is pausing all team activities at least through December 14th out of an abundance of caution to player safety because of the coronavirus. Karthik Venkatraman has been tracking this story every step of the way all weekend long. Karthik, this really doesn't come as much of a surprise.
Yeah, it's really not much of a surprise. We expected this decision to come today or tomorrow, really. I mean, it was bound to happen. The Zags had 2 positive coronavirus tests on Saturday before the team's highly anticipated matchup against Baylor. That game, of course, was canceled. They've announced 4 members of the team have tested positive for coronavirus over a span of 10 days. One non-student athlete tested positive before the game against Kansas. A student athlete tested positive before the game against Auburn. A student athlete and a non-student athlete tested positive before the game against Baylor. Members of the team have also been isolated due to contact tracing protocols. The Zags not likely and probably will not play its next 4 games, all at home against Tarleton State, Southern, Northern Arizona, and Idaho. We will see if those games end up getting rescheduled. So what's next for the Zags after that? Well, they're scheduled to play the 3rd-ranked Iowa on December 19th. The Zags really won't have much time to prepare for that game after they get out of their protocols on December 14th, if that's when they do. Then they have to travel over to South Dakota to take on Iowa and just have a couple of days to practice and play that game, Tim.
All right, Karthik, thanks so much. To your coronavirus headlines now. Spokane Regional Health District is reporting 421 new coronavirus cases. That brings the total number of cases to almost 19,000. No new deaths are reported. Currently, 105 Spokane County residents are hospitalized. As coronavirus cases continue to rise and Spokane County continues its search for a new health officer, today several members of the Regional Health Advisory Committee resigned.
The health board is more interested in finding somebody that's compliant than it is to find somebody who is willing to speak frankly to the community about the challenges of public health in the midst of this difficult and challenging pandemic. So rather than continue and feel complicit in the decisions that are being made, at least for myself, I felt that I had to take the step of resigning from this committee.
So here's a list of everyone who's resigned so far. It includes members from WSU, Gonzaga, Providence Health, Urgent Care, and faith leaders. They say it's due to Administrative Officer Amelia Clark's actions. You may remember back in October, Clark fired the county's health officer, Dr. Bob Lutz, citing, quote, performance issues. The state health board then approved an investigation into the firing. The advisory committee letter accuses Clark of the following. They say undermining the effectiveness of SRHD by demonstrating divisive, unavailable, and incompetent leadership, as well as undermining the public health through the unwarranted termination of Dr. Bob Lutz, as well as failing to implement an evidence-based response to the pandemic. Committee members also wrote that Clark has had extremely limited involvement with the committee. Clark has only been to 1 committee meeting, according to that letter. In the meantime, Amelia Clark issued the following statement in response to the members' resignation. She says she's sorry to see the members choose to discontinue their support at a time when staff are working tirelessly. She further explains that the role of the advisory committee is to provide guidance to SRHD's health officer. Clark says she expects those conversations to continue with the interim health officer. Drive-through COVID testing returned once again to Spokane, this time at the Veterans Memorial Arena. As KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones tells us, the goal is to streamline the process and make testing in the city more available.
As COVID cases continue to rise throughout the region, a demand for testing is evident, and because of that, a new drive-through testing center just opened up here at the Spokane Arena. For every day that is open, nearly 600 people are expected to roll through the new site. To balance out the demand, Chas Health will have at least 25 employees on location to make sure the process goes smoothly.
So we're just encouraging anybody who either has symptoms or has been directly exposed to someone with symptoms that they come on down and get tested.
Pre-registration for testing is recommended. It gives both the medical staff and patients an idea of how long wait times will be. Upon arrival will be a waiting area for cars. Once parked, you make a phone call to check in that will then be followed by a text message with directions to a designated testing pod.
So at the pods we have medical assistants and RNs who are helping individuals through a self-swabbing process.
Each pod is labeled with a different color. Anyone who wants to be tested must be experiencing COVID symptoms. Working at a nursing home and direct exposure to a positive case will also be grounds to receive a test. Anyone else without symptoms will have to wait 5 to 7 days after a potential exposure.
Of course, the last month we've certainly seen an increase in demand for testing, and we anticipate that to continue until vaccines are widely available for individuals.
Testing at the arena will take place 7 days a week. Hours of operation start at 9 a.m. and end at 3 p.m. Other Chas locations across the city have averaged 500 daily tests. Because of the drive-thru's convenience, representatives believe those numbers will easily be surpassed at this one location. Each test will take 1 to 3 days to get results. From Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Meanwhile, in Moscow, a new drive-through coronavirus testing site opens up tomorrow. It'll be located across Highway 95 in Jackson from Gritman Medical Center's main campus. They offer consolidated tests for coronavirus, influenza, and strep throat, since the symptoms for all three are really similar. They are open 7 days a week from 8 to 4 Monday through Friday and 10 to 4 on weekends. You do not have to be insured to be tested. However, they will require a doctor's note. Results will take at least 3 days to come back. For more on this testing location and other testing options, you can text the word TEST to 509-448-2000 and we'll send that information right to your phone. In other news, President Trump said his personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, tested positive for coronavirus. Giuliani showed some symptoms and was admitted to Georgetown University Medical Center today. The former New York mayor recently traveled to battleground states to help the president overturn election results. The president, who confirmed Giuliani's positive test in a tweet today, wished him a speedy recovery. All right, to weather now. We've seen a mixture of fog and sun for nearly a week, but no snow. Meteorologist Michelle Boss is reporting live from home tonight. Is this week going to look any different, Michelle?
Yeah, I think we're going to see a little bit less sun, but we're also going to be changing that pattern and getting out of that foggy pattern as well. That being said, in the short term, we do still have about one more day where we're going to have to deal with this patchy fog. Let's take a look at visibilities across the inland northwest right now. Spokane was socked in the fog pretty much all day today, as was Pullman. They're seeing better visibilities over 5 miles, but now Deer Park is looking at quarter-mile visibility and some fog and freezing fog, and Moses Lake has also seen some reduced visibilities, as well as Omak. It's just going to be up and down throughout the night. As we take a broader look at satellite and radar, the fog you can't really see, but you can clearly see some low clouds extending from south of Omak through Moses Lake into the Tri-Cities. That held temperatures down for those folks today. But then you're also seeing some additional clouds coming in from the northwest. Those are some higher clouds that are going to be spreading through the area later on Monday. So even if the fog were to clear, it looks like we are going to be dealing with mostly cloudy skies across the inland northwest tomorrow. Right now, temperatures where we've had some clearing are in the lower 20s. So very chilly in Deer Park, Spokane, and Coeur d'Alene in the lower 20s, where the low clouds have been hanging around. A little bit warmer, 30 in Moses Lake, 29 in Othello. Lewiston has a current temperature of 30. So we're looking at the potential for patchy fog tomorrow morning, then otherwise mostly cloudy skies, 39. And guess what? Finally, a chance for some precipitation on Tuesday and Wednesday. It looks like it'll be a chance of rain on Tuesday with a high of 41, and then we could see a mixture of rain and snow on Wednesday with a high of 39.
We're just getting started here on KREM 2 News at 11. The investigation continues into the Zoom bomb attack against Gonzaga's Black Student Union. how the school is planning to address the situation. Then later, our Verify team sits down to talk to Dr. Anthony Fauci to talk about the coronavirus vaccine, plus the changes we could see by next summer.